Alright, so here we are again on Just Another Melting Channel. This is my first full melt with a propane burner, my Devil-Forge Propane Burner. During the course of the video, you're going to notice that it looks like water's leaking from the propane tank. That's just me pouring warm water on it to keep it from freezing. There were 3 propane tanks I used during this melt because 2 of them were almost empty. And the closer it gets to empty, it seems like the longer it goes, it's more likely to start to get cold a lot quicker than if it's full. So you got to keep it warm, otherwise you lose pressure. And that's what I was doing. So, skimming slag or dross before you pour. One thing to remember is you've got to preheat whatever you're using to skim, because anything, again, that goes into that liquid metal is going to cause the temperature to drop. You're going to start to lose heat. It's going to start to cool down and freeze. So you want to make sure you heat that up. It also seems, and again, I'm very inexperienced with this, but it also seems like aluminum is less likely to stick to the skimmer when it's hot versus when it's kind of cool. Like the hotter it is, the better. So yeah. Yes, that high-pitched giggle you just heard right there was me. I have always wanted to recreate what Big Stack D does, quenching with an ice block and then dropping a brick on it. That's one of my favorite parts of his videos, honestly. Besides his dogs, is when he drops like a brick. I think there was one time he even dropped a microwave on the ingot, and it had me laughing so hard I woke my wife up. So, favorite part of the videos. Had to recreate it. I got my chance. I have re-recorded several commentaries on this because I kept starting everything out with so. So we're gonna do this. So I'm thinking about that. Stop saying so, dude. Anyways, I've been doing some research. Found out that it may be possible that I'm making my aluminum too hot. Like the crucible might be too hot, the furnace might be too hot. I notice I have problems on the second pour, which this one is right here, and it might just be because it's too hot. So the next thing I'm going to be saving up for and purchasing in regards to melting is going to be one of those digital thermometers, the infrared ones. I'm not sure what the exact name of them is, but all the melters that I watch on YouTube use them, and it might be another useful tool in becoming better at this melting thing. So it is possible to plunge cans. If you're doing a propane furnace and you're just melting cans, it is possible to continue to plunge cans with the lid off in case your vent port on the lid is not big enough. But you've got to make sure you have the proper safety equipment. I recently subscribed to a channel called Ingot Joe, another melter on YouTube. Does a lot of good stuff. One of my favorite parts of his videos is that in every video I've seen thus far, he always has a shot where he says, you know, make sure you have the proper protective and safety equipment, that PPE, right? Super important. I was a driver's ed teacher for 10 years in a college town with international and local students. Safety was like my big thing. It was my number one thing because you can't take a chance. It kind of goes the same with this because you're dealing with temperatures that can melt your face off faster than when they open the Ark on the Indiana Jones movie. So you really want to make sure you have the proper safety equipment, a face shield in case there's any pops from steam, you know, the heat insulation gloves like the welding gloves from Lincoln Electric, things like that. All of it is important to have. A respirator for any fumes. That's another thing I'm saving up for as well, as a respirator. But yeah, safety first. Safety first, safety always. So at this point I noticed there was still enough aluminum in the crucible down at the bottom being blocked by, you know, some cooled aluminum and dross or slag. So I just did a little bit of scraping and I was able to pull out just about this much more right here. I am curious as to whether or not maybe doing a little bit more thorough of a cleaning on the crucible between each pour. You know, so you do a pour, put it back in the furnace, melt more aluminum, but if cleaning in between it just a little bit more than I have been doing may affect the quality of the pour, as well as the heat and all that stuff. I'll have to see on one of my next melts.
How long can I wait before I put my finger in it?
You're probably gonna have to wait a bit.
Whoa! 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 That's hotter than I wash my hands. That's hot.
Food with this boiling water. So in another piece of fob ingenuity, you know, being Mr. Fob-tastic over here, the fabulous foundry. Anyways, this is a brick that cracked in half. I used it on a previous melt. I believe it was melt 7. But I noticed that the hole was just the right size to prop up the Devil-Forge Propane Burner. So that's what I did. And I used it also to continue to block, along with the tin can top, any blowback flame from coming out and stifling the oxygen again. You just gotta adapt with what you got, I guess. Super excited to reveal this. That's going to be one of my next upcoming videos, is all of these cans, and this, it's going to be the biggest melt I've ever done. And the other surprise coming up right here. Super excited about melting down those 4 bins and that radiator. In the meantime, this has been Just Another Melt on Just Another Melting channel. Thank you for joining me. I hope it was informative or at least slightly entertaining. If you liked the video, feel free to check my other videos out if you stumble across this. If you're a melter and you've got some tips to leave, I would love it. Thank you to everybody who donated cans, and I'll see you on the next video.